all. Let me officially welcome you all. I welcome our CMD, Honorable CMD, Dr. Arushi Ajey Malik. She is a very senior IAS officer. She is an MBBS doctor herself. We are very fortunate to have Madam as the CMD over here. Okay. So I welcome Shri Mukesh Chaudhary ji, who is the GM one over here. I welcome Mr. Vikesh Bijarniya. And I welcome all industry representatives. When we call industry representatives here in this healthcare, the healthcare, employers and representatives from the hospital sector skills council and NSDC Shri Kalamji. And we have representatives from industry, Indian Medical Association, AHPI, and then various other reputed organizations. Well, let me give you a brief introduction about the RSLDC. Rajasthan Skill and Livelihood Development Corporation is basically a nodal agency to the Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship Government of Rajasthan. Well, RSLDC's objective is to design, develop, and implement various skill training programs sponsored by both the Government of Rajasthan and Government of India. Okay. RSLDC fund these, schemes, basically RSLDC funds and implement it through the training partners, the project implementation agencies. Well, you all must be knowing, it's a known fact now that either it is mainstream education or vocational education or skill development, everything is supply driven in today's context. Supply driven, when we say we have adopted a source, train and deploy model. We source the candidates, we train them, and then we later deploy it. Madam actually has taken initiative to reverse the approach. Madam wants this approach to be reversed and converted into RTD, wherein the employers can recruit the candidates, train the candidates after recruitment, and then later deploy them at a mutually agreed location. Well, to do this, Madam has actually taken initiative to do this virtual industry connect workshop sector. Looks like some mic is on. So we have taken this sectoral approach, and Madam being the MBBS doctor herself, the very first, it's obvious that we have taken healthcare as the first sector to start with. Okay, so the main objective of this Industry Connect workshop is basically to understand the demand. When we say demand in terms of two things. Number one, demand in terms of manpower, which is required, the current requirement and future requirement. And number two is the skills that are required. We are very keen to know what skills that are required in the market. It's talk everywhere. It's a common talk that the students or the candidates who are trained are not carrying the necessary skills which are required to perform better. So we basically want to hear it from the horse's mouth. We want to understand from you what skills that are required. Okay, what skills are required in the healthcare in healthcare sector. Okay, and what kind of challenges that you basically face in recruitment of this candidate, and challenges faced in terms of training this candidate, this freshers. Okay, so and also what is your expectation from RSLDC? Okay, so we want to understand through this Industry Connect workshop. We want to understand that the main objective of this Industry Connect workshop is this. So we want to understand what are these skills that are required in healthcare sector. Well, then last but not least, let me tell you that going forward, the RSLDC would love to align with you in the way which is mutually agreeable. Okay. So fine then. Then I will invite Mr. Vikas Bijarniya to tell you more about RSLDC and RTD concept. Mr. Vikas.
Hi. Hello everyone. Good morning. I'm Vikas Bijarniya. I am manager in RSLDC. So basically, if you talk in terms of skills, Rajasthan was the first state to implement mission on livelihoods. That in the entire India, Rajasthan was the first state who devised the concept of livelihoods generation. That there is very much unemployment. So Rajasthan was the first state to think that we should provide skills to our unemployed youth so that they can generate their livelihoods based on that skills. So basically, ARMOL was established, Rajasthan Mission on Livelihoods was established in 2004. And after that, in 2010, it became a company. It was registered in Companies Act. And RSLDC, in its current position, RSLDC was ARMOL was renamed RSLDC in 2014. And after 2014, RSLD is working in skills sector. So basically, what RSLDC do, they provide skill training, and after that, they want that the candidates who get skill, they get employment opportunities based on those skills. Second thing what RSLC do, that there are some people who have already skilled, but they don't have certificate for that. So RSLC is also working in that field. That is recognized prior learning, that we conduct 3 or 4 days workshop in particular field. Though already guys who already have prior learnings in that field, they can come there, and based on 3 or 4 days workshop, we will provide them certificates so that they get formal certificates so that they can go to any employer. So he knows that he actually by certificate he get formal education in that sector. So till now RSLDC has skilled more than 5 lakhs of candidates in last 7 to 8 years, and out of these 5 lakh candidates, we have got employment to approximately more 2 lakh candidates. It's around 40 to 50%, but we want to increase that share, because providing skill training is one thing, but after getting that skill, they have to get an employment. Then only that skill can benefit them in their life. So the main motive is providing that employment opportunities. So for that, we are thinking of a model. It's basically named RTD. That's recruitment, train, and then deploy. So those big industries who have large manpower requirement in that field. So basically what they can do, that they can recruit first, and then with the help of RSLDC, they can train those candidates with our help, that we will provide the money for that training. And then after that training, those candidates who passed in assessment by the Sector Skill Council, they get job in that industry. So in basically by the recruitment, train, deploy model, we want that our the share of employment of skilled candidates will increase by that. Basically because somehow when skilled candidates get employed, so employer was not 100% satisfactory by their training or what are the training they got. So basically we want to do this, that industries train candidates on their own, that what are the skill set they require, they train those candidates based with RSLDC's help, and after that they get deployed in their own industry. So these are the model we are working on. It's basically recruitment, train, deploy, so that employer also get benefited, that they can provide skills, whatever skills they require for that job, and students also get easy employment opportunity. So basically it's a win-win situation for industry also, students also, and RSLDC also, because the main motive is to provide employment to the students. So that's the thing we are coming with. So now let me hand over to Mr. Shaik, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, thank you, Vikas ji. You give an insight into what RTD is. That is actually kind of, very encouraging. Okay. So like Mr. Vikas said, that the RTD is going to play a, very critical role in future skilling. So we expect, see the case, the RSLDC expects, the employers to come and join hands with RSLDC, and then, recruit candidates. The RSLDC will help you and the RSLDC will help the employers in mobilizing the candidates. RSLDC has a strong presence in almost all districts of Rajasthan. RSLDC would fund the initiative, the skilling, and then the employers can hire those candidates and train those candidates and deploy. They can use their own facility to do this. They can use their the hospitals to train candidates. That's the expectation from RSLDC. Now I request CMD madam to you know share her points.
I guess at the very outset, has scale about the article. And what I expect from our partners who are attending this video conferencing is that basically this is a health industry connect program where we would
It's
like.
not clear. Shri.
Am I audible? Am I
The
audible?
voice is
Check. Is the voice clear?
Yeah, now it's clear, ma'am.
Is it better now?
Mr. Jaskaran Singh, I request you to switch off your video, or looks like there are a couple of mics which are on. I request all the other participants to mute your mics. Ma'am, you can go ahead.
So am I audible?
Audio is low, ma'am. I'll help you out.
Voice is okay? Or is it breaking?
One moment. Yeah, one more.
That Shaik, you can shift here so that I can see and Without this, again, the yes, I hope I'm audible now. Vikas or
Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
oh yeah, thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to welcome all the guests who are present in this video conferencing and this Industry Connect workshop. Now, the basic purpose why we are connecting with all of you is that one, we want to know what are the job roles which are appealing as of now. So the job roles which are present for the health sector and which you all believe are good and they are good for both one, the training partner, as well as the people who are undergoing trainings. Secondly, I would like to know which are the job roles where you believe there should be new job roles which should be created, or some job roles, the existing job roles need to be tweaked so that we can have better job roles which are as per the present health industry requirement. And third, I would request that if you have, because I understand there must be many who are already working in skill sector either with RSLDC or with any other skill development corporation in any other state. If you could tell us which are the the shortfalls, what are the difficulties which you are facing, which need to be addressed at our end, or maybe at the government of India end, if that needs to be flagged. So these three issues I would really request. The present job roles which are good enough, the job roles which need to be added and need to be tweaked, and lastly, what are the present difficulties which you are facing. So if we structure our presentation on these three issues, and over and above, if you have anything else to add, that you are more than welcome. And I really believe that in this post pandemic world, it is basically there's a lot of scope in the health related sector, both for our partners as well as for the youth which is looking for skilling, as well as finding a very satisfactory the jobs. So I think that together we can definitely take it forward. And so now let us begin with interacting with each of our partners who are present. Is there anyone from Jaipur who's here? Yeah. So let's begin with that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Arushi madam, for sharing your insights. Okay, there were some technical glitches. Okay, so we apologize for the technical glitches. Okay, well, madam brought in. It's been common talking about pre-pandemic, pandemic, and post-pandemic. Scenarios. Skilling is one of the key, areas where we need to discuss this pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic scenarios. Pre-pandemic, it was all going hunky-dory. People were actually getting skilled and in very, very entry-level, skills. It was common that the training partner used to come train in, the very basic skills, bedside assistants and things like that. COVID brought a sea change in our, approach towards skilling. It showed us that, it is not only the basic skills that need to be taught, the advanced skills, and the also operator level skills also need to be incorporated. So in the post-pandemic scenario, we need to get into this. And who else will be the better people to talk or share their experience about this horrific pandemic situation. So we would like to hear from you all. Okay, like ma'am rightly said, the skill sets that are in current demand and future skill set that would come in the future. Okay, over to our friends from Sector Skills Council. Okay, and we would like to take this to the next level. Anshu from Sector Skills Council, Healthcare Sector Skills Council. Yes, Dr. Mahima ji. Mahima ji, you raised your hand. Dr.
Okay.
Mahima.
Good morning, all of you. I'm Dr. Megha Agarwal from Healthcare Sector Skill Council. Due to some medical emergency, Anshu was not able to join, but I would take it over from the Healthcare Sector Skill Council. I'm Dr. Megha Agarwal, Senior Manager, Standards and Industry Interface. Am I audible? Someone could confirm?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, welcome all of you, first of all, for this event, and thank you so much, RSLDC, to organize this event. Rajasthan is always a major state where, from where the doctors and the healthcare professionals come out, and this is a major state where the healthcare delivery system is strengthening day by day, and there is a big focus of the hospital world and the healthcare industry to invest in the Rajasthan state. So thank you so much for organizing this event. Before we begin with our panel discussions with our esteemed panelists, just a liner brief about the Healthcare Sector Skill Council. We are the awarding body recognized by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship under NCVET, National Council Vocational Education and Training, and we are here doing the skilling, reskilling, upskilling, offering apprenticeship and the RPL trainings to the candidates to become the ready workforce for the healthcare industry, and strengthen our healthcare delivery system. Some very notable features which you have seen in the past, in the very recent past, is the big project of our COVID frontline workers, where we have trained more than 1 lakh COVID frontline workers in 6 different streams and provided them as a healthcare workforce ready to be deployed in the COVID care centers and the healthcare delivery system. Apart from what we are supporting the National Health Authority in implementing the Ayushman Bharat PMJ scheme through producing Pradhan Mantri Arogya Mitra. Apart from this, we have obviously till date, till 10 years of our service, we have certified more than 3 lakh of candidates in different streams, from assistant, lower level, assistant level, to the technician level, to the hospital management services. So thanks for giving this opportunity to work and give the service in your state as well. So here we have our some esteemed panelists from different, representing the different healthcare providers, from the corporate hospitals to the associations to the medical device companies to the pharmaceuticals. And I'm very thankful to all the panelists to take out the time from their busy schedule and give a talk and give a perspective to the skilling in the healthcare industry through this conclave. Before I would call out the names of each and every panelist one by one. From each of the panelists, we expect some talks about what CMD ma'am has already set out as in context, that could we, through this talk, could you focus on some skill and employment features in the healthcare sector? We could discuss and understand some current demand for the healthcare workforce, especially at the level of the skilled healthcare assistants, and some futuristic demand in the healthcare sector. What we could see that how we could plug these people and have the employment of the same across India, specifically to the Rajasthan, and also we could see that how we could deploy them or migrate them to other countries as well, from as an international demand as well. We could focus on the current list of the Healthcare Sector Skill Council provided qualifications, and we are open to have the suggestions from the industry where we could work on developing the qualifications with the healthcare industry and provide them to the for the skilling of the youth. So without any delay, I would like to welcome our first panelist, Dr. Vanita Mittal from Max Healthcare Institute Limited. Dr. Vanita ma'am, are you here? Dr. Vanita, could you hear us? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible. Megha,
Dr.
you are
Vanita?
audible.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Vanita? Okay, we would take, maybe there is some technical glitch, so we would come back to her after a while. So, Dr. Ashok Sharda from Indian Medical Association.
Yes, good morning, Madam, Dr. Arushi, Malik, Madam, and Mr. Shaik and your whole team of RSLDC. We are really privileged to get your information, to join us and to be a part of this value program.
Thank
We
you,
are
sir.
really happy to see that the health sector is been for the first time is been asked by some big government agency, and we are really privileged to have Dr. Arushi Malik, who is herself is a doctor and can understand the best health priorities and health problems. So I welcome you all in this very talk, and would like to give our 3-4 points about health sector. Ma'am, I would like to share that after endemic, the importance of health sector is being highlighted to all the citizens and the government of India. So we request you to keep this health sector in a priority sector like industries, agriculture and education. And somewhere it may be a little bit equal to the defense. This we all have realized this during this pandemic. Or we should develop some methods to face this situation, this disaster situation. As we faced in the first wave and the second wave, that in the first wave, nobody was there to take care of all these patients. So we must develop a disaster management team, disaster management courses, like if some big problem happens, like some NDRF and the other people are doing like that. So in health sector also, some big fire is there, big accident is there, some bus is drowned in the river, and big casualties are coming at a time to a single hospital. So we must develop the persons to handle all these situations at a time. Like in the COVID, we had seen that nobody was ready to touch, even the so many health workers went on to the leave, and we called them personally and requested them to work. This was the scene in the first wave, where we had little bit knowledge and most of the fear and no confidence in treating the patients, because there were no medicines and the methods available with us. Secondly, I would like to request to include a course for the medical receptionist or medical assistant, OPD assistant, because most of the disputes are there in the medical OPDs and the emergencies OPDs of the hospitals. So a receptionist course can be devised. IMA can very well run it to develop the persons who can better handle the people. They are a bit a different kind of receptionist other than the some hotel or some your corporate office and the other modalities of the industry. So the medical receptionist should be a softer one, must understand the emergencies, because everybody coming in the OPDs are coming with the emergency, whether it is there or not. So how to filter these cases? Real emergency should be attended very first. Then they prioritize the problems of the patient in the medical OPDs and the surgical OPDs. So they must be trained in their soft skills to speak properly, to behave properly, to understand the emotions of the patient. So we must devise the courses like this. Secondly, the very need of this hour is the geriatric nursing at home. You know that most of the our software engineers and so many big businessmen and so many big universities are pulling our brilliance to the US and UK and Australia and Germany. So most of the elderly population are living alone, either one parent or single parent or mother and father are here, and most of the time they are not getting the proper medical care. It is not possible always to admit them in the hospital and to occupy the hospital beds. Most of the time they need basic care at home by a trained personnel who can listen their problem, who can understand their problem, who can communicate with the doctor, who can give them the first aid, who can help in their daily routine. So such kind of the courses for the geriatric nursing we can develop. These are the 3-4 main things. And for the health sector, I would again stress upon that the health sector should be taken in the priority sector in all fields of the government development programs and the government schemes, which has been devoid in the last so many years. So kindly take it on priority, and we are really happy that you involved Indian Medical Association for this very purpose. And our feedback, I hope, would give you the better suggestions, and we expect a better outcome from the government side also. So IMA is running already some courses for the lactation management, for geriatric care, for specialists, so many kind of courses, lab technician, X-ray technician, ECG technician, so many courses we are running. So we would like to take from you, these courses should be taken by the skill development department, and they should be awarded to the Indian Medical Association, which is already run under AK and Sinha Institute, and the various courses are going on. And 3-4 courses we want to add more. So on that we would like that IMA should conduct these programs with your blessings. Thank you, Madam Arushi. Thank you for hearing you, and thank you for involving us.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok, for giving your insights and a very useful and touch base on the very useful courses. Just to give an information to whole RSLDC team and IMA team as well, that through skill development, Skill India mission through Healthcare Sector Skill Council, under the disaster management courses, you could readily take up the courses of emergency care assistant, dresser medical, and EMT basic. For the medical receptionist one, you could easily take up the courses of hospital front desk coordinator to patient relation associate and to the duty manager level, even for the healthcare quality assurance manager. For the geriatric one and for the home care one, you could easily take up the courses of the home health aide and the geriatric care assistant and geriatric care aide, and there are obviously among other courses as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharda, for giving the insight.
Dr.
Now,
Sharda,
for the next panelist,
Dr. Megha, sorry if I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sir, Ashok sir, we can schedule a meeting where you can come down to the RSLDC office and we can take this discussion further, sir.
Sure.
Okay, so let's schedule a meeting and let's take this forward.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir.
RSLDC would be happy to associate with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next panelist, what would I like to invite on the stage was Dr. Rohini Cole from the Aster DM Healthcare Limited. Dr. Rohini?
Yeah. Good morning, all of you. It's a
Good morning.
wonderful opportunity to be with all of you, and especially to take up such a kind of a decision to come together to take decisions. So thank you all very much. So I know I have been associated with HSSC for many years, many years. So we know from the level it has come up, and from GDA, I know the GDA Advance had made a lot of difference. And to that extent, especially as Dr. Ashok was telling, that after the pandemic, of course, the value of, because the nursing along with this has made a lot of difference in the healthcare industry, which every one of us understood. So everybody realized the value, how important it is. That is what this group of children who are able to take up bigger responsibilities. So again, I'm telling you now, the demand is increasing. So if you ask me, there's even now there is few more programs being assigned. And one thing I want to suggest, the OT technology related. So what we have been doing, we just do a GDA or GDA advance after completion. We post them in the operating room. But the acceptance is very, very limited. To promote them and make the team to accept them as a OT, to assist or to be in the floor. So I feel it's time that we should have a specific program, specialized program in operating room or operation theater. That would be my, and it will be very much useful, because my previous organization, I know how many of them are already, but it took a long time for us to get that acceptance from the team. So now if we have this certification program, so we can promote this very easily. And one more, it is my suggestion that why not the trained qualified nurses also been given a certification program? Anyway, that is for discussion. That's what I feel, because right now we want the nurses to have that upskilling of critical care areas. So far we have been only thinking, so why not? Because the certificate has quite a value across India and externally, outside India. So if you can think of that for a qualified nurses, upskill them in critical care area. That would be one more suggestion from me. So once again, thank you very much for allowing me to part of this, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rohini, for giving such a wonderful insights. And definitely, the upskilling is the upcoming area, and we all really need to focus on these areas as well. And the government is planning to how a upskilling course for the trained nurses or doctors could be devised under the Skill India mission and could be taken up for the state missions. Thank you so much. Next.
Give me a minute. From the industry, we keep hearing, especially in the healthcare sector, that the duration of program need to be modified. The certification is insufficient, and the skill sets and other things. So we keep hearing that the candidates who are skilled for about 3 months or 6 months are not eligible to take up certain key areas in the hospital. So we would like to hear from you of what can be modified if the candidates are not eligible to take up certain critical functions in the hospital even after 6 months of training, where if the certificate is insufficient, or the QPs, Dr. Megha, you may throw some light on this, or if the QPs can be modified, what need to be modified to make the skilled candidates? Because most of the time we hear from the candidates that they are not allowed to kind of work in not critical areas, are the areas where they are skilled. Okay, we would like to hear from the employers, basically the hospitals.
Surely. So panelists could focus on the points raised by RSLDC team. Thank you so much. Next panelist we would like to invite on the stage is Miss Prerna Malhotra Soni from Soni Hospitals. Miss Prerna, are you there?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm sorry I got disconnected from this call. So what is it that we are, I heard ma'am, the previous session, but if you could just tell me what do you want to hear from me once, please.
Right. So from the employer partners, we want to hear out that what are the skilling and employment opportunities for the healthcare professionals. Right now, not being focused on the doctors and nurses because that is being taken care by the Medical Council of India and Indian Nursing Council. You understand that, and there is a upcoming commission also on the allied health professionals. So not the technician areas, but apart from that. Under the Skill India mission, what type of initiatives or the qualifications could be taken up for the skilling, reskilling, or upskilling of the professionals in the healthcare sector? That we really, and what are the current roles which you the Soni Hospital could adopt, and what are the future roles you suggest to take up?
Right. So good afternoon once again. We are right now doing general duty and general duty advanced. We are also doing CSST, which is Central Sterile Department. We are also doing HHA, which is Home Health Aid. We had started off at some point in the last 2-3 years. We had started off with PRA also, right? So, which was basically to train a student to get to know more about empanelments and how to deal with their, at the reception if a patient is coming, say from CGHS or say, for example, railways, etc. So, how to deal with those kind of patients is something that that really needs some working on. So that is one area I would suggest. And secondly, we keep on getting a lot of inquiries from our students for dialysis technician. That was one course that was there, but it was discontinued. So these are the two things that I think we can focus on. And I had last conclave, I had raised a point on OT as well, but ma'am has raised that in the previous session from just before me. So OT technician is also something that, because that requires some niche kind of learning. A generally duty assistant would not really be able to cater to that level of, how these surgeons work is very different from a general ward or a general, or even emergency for that matter. OT is a very specific area, so some kind of learning curve which is different, or a branching out of GDA would be a great thing to start off with.
Thank you so much, Ms. Prerna, for your insights. And you have rightly pointed out that there were the courses of OT technician and dialysis technician and other technician related courses were already there under the Skill India mission. But now everybody, I think so, are well informed of this fact that there is a allied health and professional bill has come into enact, and very soon we are going to see the National Commission on allied health professionals. So where on all the diploma or degree courses from the university level for these technician or technologists would be taken up by the university. And obviously, being from the Healthcare Sector Skill Council, we would also be working with them while offering. I request everyone else to please keep yourself on mute. Mr. Pankaj, I think so you are unmuted.
And once again, thank you, Dr. Megha, for giving me the opportunity to speak with such esteemed panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Dr. Megha, excuse me for a minute. Dr. Prerna, thank you very much for coming to this, Industry Connect workshop at such a short notice. We thank you for the, insights that you have given even during the CXO conclave. We would, meet again to discuss it in details.
Pleasure, sir. Would love to. Thank you.
Okay, next in the panelist list, we want to invite Ms. Reshma Lobo from HCG Hospitals.
A very good morning to everybody. And firstly, I would like to start by congratulating the Rajasthan government on this initiative and bringing together people, the end users, as well as the providers. So I think this is an excellent platform. As HCG hospitals, what I would like to say, and I would like to add to whatever the previous panelists have added, is especially during COVID times, I think your COVID warriors that you all created was absolutely amazing. It was of so much help, and kudos to you all. And every time we do hear that India is short-staffed, and it's nice that there is something like this to create that bridge between having people in the hospitals and training. To add to that, I would like one recommendation that I constantly do make is to help us identify the job roles that these candidates would play. Like if you are looking at any hospital, now we can hire a diploma candidate and say something like OT technology or a BSc graduate in OT technology. But then you also need a lot of other hands in an OT, or say even for a dialysis technician, which was withdrawn, or the cardiac care technicians. So how do we identify their roles as opposed to a diploma candidate, as opposed to a BSc candidate? I think that is something that all of us should put our heads together and really look into. And that I think would automatically raise the acceptance rates that Dr. Rohini was talking about in the hospitals, the acceptance rates of these candidates. So each one's job roles are very well defined, and there's clarity, and there is no overlap, there is no this one. I think working with universities also here in Karnataka, that is something we really have tried to look at, and I think it would be great if Rajasthan also can look at that. And secondly, I think, like most of the speakers have also think, we should look at the low-hanging fruits of non-clinical, like having your MRD technicians or having your front office technicians, or even just patient care coordinators who will guide patients across the hospitals, or who will guide patients to handle empanelment related issues. I think those are all low-hanging fruits that we should also definitely look at. Thank you again for this opportunity. I hope we have many more fruitful discussions and take this forward fast and implement this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reshma, for your great insights, and I really appreciate that very low-hanging fruit by not yourself, by all the panelists have been identified, and we are very grateful that Healthcare Sector Skill Council as an awarding body has provided that whole gamut of the job roles which are related to the healthcare management side, which could take care of the front desk challenges, your empanelment challenges through our whole gamut of roles from NSQF level 4 to 7 related to hospital front desk coordinator, patient relation associate, assistant duty manager in patient relation services, and duty manager in patient relation services. Even we have a healthcare quality assurance manager as an upskilling, the first upskilling qualification for the doctors and nurses in related to the NABH or the other JCI or other related accreditation challenges. So thank you so much for raising this and highlighting these roles as a need of the hour. And we really understand the discontinuation of the technician roles has disheartened most of the healthcare providers sitting out here. But all we have to wait for the National Commission of Allied Health Professional Bill to come in to enact, where obviously they would be providing the diploma and degree courses in the same. Meanwhile, we are working with the universities closely so that, and in that, we would not obviously be doing the roles in the academic area, being the industry representation. We would be taking care of taking you all as in healthcare service providers along with us while implementing these courses in the university. So we would come back to you while implementation once a plan would be materialized with some universities. Thank you so much. Okay, next in the line we want to invite Mr. Arvind Narayan from Vinage to give the insights about these healthcare sector needs. Mr. Arvind Narayan?
Yeah. Yes. Hi. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please.
Great. Thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. Thank you so much, Ms. Arushi, Malik, Mr. Shaik, and the whole team of RSLDC and the healthcare sector for having this kind of a collaborative conference to gauge industry's expectations as well as what the industry is going through on various roles. I don't need to mention about how important healthcare is, because all of us are belonging from the same sector and we understand post-COVID this has taken precedence. I'd like to talk specifically about geriatric care as such, because that's what we deal in totally, wholly and solely. For the past 7 years, we have been working in the field of geriatric care. The model RTD is not new to us. We have been doing this. In fact, we have been training our own people. In fact, we have been identifying them first, and we have been training them, and we have been placing them with our own organization. We also come from the skilling industry, and we understood, very, very initially that once you have to recruit a candidate, they have to come with a certain specific skill set which suits a certain organization. Okay, you can do a carpet bombing of skills, and then the particular organization probably has to retrain them or do an augmentation training so that they are, attached to that particular organization. So we started doing this in the year 2016. We have been doing this successfully. We are working with different state governments also. We have trained tribal candidates in Maharashtra. We have done candidates in the Northeast, hard to reach regions. Recently, we are doing the RTD model in West Bengal also. The government has invited us. So cutting the long story short, our recommendations would be very, very limited to particularly the field of geriatric care. I think the IMA representative, Dr. Ashok Sharda, also pointed out that geriatric care is an important upcoming field. You see, by 2030, the statistics say that close to 20% of the world's population, or even more, will be people who are above the age of 65, as per WHO. With the onset of lifestyle diseases and other things which are coming in, I think the need to address this particular category is very, very important. Somebody also said that people go to far off lands in search of employment, and they leave their parents back. Yes, it's a necessity now, because the dynamics are all changing. So we have to adapt to these challenges and come up with probably a cadre of resources which are specific to geriatric population. So that's when we decided to get into this particular segment, not as a business initially. We wanted to, in fact, understand and also help people who are facing different challenges, because each and every patient is different. So we developed our own curriculum, we implemented it, we had our own ups and downs, but right now we have a model wherein right from identification of the candidate to mobilization of the candidate, it's very, very set. We have parameters of who can join this particular course. Healthcare itself is very niche. People need to have a different mindset to get into healthcare, because it's all about serving other people. Now, geriatric care tops it all, because you need to have the patience, the empathy to deal with a geriatric population, which is, in fact, I would say, I would, for lack of words, I would use the word lost, because when you reach a certain age, you see that all other people are going on doing their own work, and there is nobody to take care of them or talk to them probably. So the need to address challenges like psychological needs, social needs comes first. So in our training, we have incorporated this, including some innovative things, techniques like music therapy and all. So our suggestion would be, in fact, one of the things which Mr. Shaik said was what support we would require from the government. Yes, HSSC is there as an accreditation body. We are there as a training body. But, it is a partnership between all these stakeholders which would make this program a success. It is not only the training provider or probably HSSC or probably the government which is going to drive this. It is the combination of all these people, including their efforts, which has to be put in. So I'll just come to the point. One of the main things which we found out while working with the government agencies was that training was given to us. We took care of mobilization, training, and even placement, because placement also happens in our own organization. Mostly what happens is people don't take up placement. Now, the question again need to ask is, why don't they take up placement? Probably because they just wanted to do the course. Okay, we went back, we said that we'll do a proper mobilization and probably a proper screening of these people. But then again, there also needs to be a push from the government side stating that, look, if you do not take up employment, see, getting a job in these days is very, very important for a family which is, underprivileged. Now, if somebody is offering you that job, you at least need to do justice to the training which you have done. You're not doing the training just because you want to get the certificate. You're doing this training for livelihood. So this is one request which I would like to make to the Rajasthan government is, please make it very, very mandatory for the student to do the job at least for 6 months minimum. Only then the certification will be given. Only then their other credentials will be released. Or maybe you can even put a penalty saying that since the government is footing your training bill, we will charge you a penalty if you don't take up the job at least for 6 months. In the mobilization field also, we have certain checklists wherein out of probably 1,000 people we mobilize, we take up only 100 or even 90 of them. That's the kind of ratio which we have for geriatric care. So there, if we have more sensitization and awareness about what geriatric care is all about, what this course entails and what the job entails, which we will do in the orientation. But initially, if we can get these messages out by the government, that will be great. Lastly, I would just like to mention that the scope of employment of this is going to be outside also. We also have tie-ups with universities abroad at Ohio State University for people who want to take up this as a career and go abroad to earn more. So we offer proper career progression also for our caregivers. We call them caregivers. We offer internal trainings on dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, so that there is a step up. Once they enter as a caregiver, they're not always called a caregiver. There is a career progression for them. They are called caregiver plus, specialists, or a supervisor and stuff like that, so that there is a feeling of moving forward in their life. So with that, I'll close. Thank you so much for having me, and all the best to this particular program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arvind, for stressing on a very important area of geriatric care and the need of the certified, trained geriatric care assistants, not only in India, but across the world. And thank you so much for stressing upon on this need and giving a beautiful idea and model of lineage to adopt on. Thank you.
Thank you. If there is any question from the Rajasthan government, I'd be happy to take.
Yes. Hello.
Is there any question, Mr. Mahmood, you want to ask to?
Not at present.
Not at present. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you so
We'll
much.
meet up.
Mr.
We'll meet up. This is see, we have called it a connect workshop. The name itself indicate that we want to connect first. So the engagement will start later. Okay. So this is going to be a long journey. This is the tip of the iceberg. Okay. So there's a lot more to come. The RSLDC would connect with each one of you to take this initiative forward. Yeah, and Dr. Mahima was raising hand. If it was quick, then some quick.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mahmood.
Yeah.
Hello.
We can go. Yeah, Dr. Mahima. Yeah, Dr. Mahima, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are, ma'am. If it is a quick query, we can discuss this, or else we can discuss it during the open forum.
Yeah, am I
Dr.
audible?
Mahima. You are, ma'am. Ma'am, if it is a quick query, yes, you are, ma'am. If it is a quick query, we can discuss it now, or else we can discuss it during the open forum.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is Dr. Mahima here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi. So I am Dr. Mahima from Gotham Hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've been associated with the RSLDC from quite a long it's been time now. So even I had few of the suggestions which the panel was discussing. So I thought I would like to give my inputs on that. So I had we like when we see in our hospitals, I'm also along with doctor. I'm also into management. I have degree of management also. So what we see is these days it is not just healthcare; it is quality healthcare, and when we see quality, it comes with a lot of paperwork, a lot of licenses, many things. So we need specialized people for this sector in hospitals, may it be corporate hospitals or small healthcare hospitals. Everyone needs these kind of specialized people who can look after all these things. So, hello? Yeah, am I audible?
You are audible, ma'am. Ma'am, can we discuss this during the open session, ma'am? Open forum, if you don't mind.
Okay, maybe then, okay, sure. Because
No, so we apologize for the inconvenience caused to you. Basically, since this is a planned, event, this your insights can be discussed. We respect, we value your insights, ma'am. We will discuss it during. If you don't mind, we will discuss it during the open forum, ma'am.
Okay, fine then. See you there.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Next panelist is Ms. Suman Yadav from Portea Medical. Ms. Suman from Portea.
Yeah, hi. Hi, thank you, Dr. Megha.
Hi.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone on this connect. So Portea is, India's leading home healthcare company, and it's been more than, 9 years, 8+ years. We are, closely working with Healthcare Sector Skill Council and other different, skill development institutes. One thing all of, a lot of people on this forum has already discussed. My first view is that, I have seen a lot of forums where we are discussing that we will be helping other countries with, sending the staff for elderly care. And my only question is, let's first fulfill our own country requirement, which is, still lacking. Only 35 or 40% of the requirement we are able to fill. पहले अपना घर भरते हैं, उसके बाद बाहर के लोगों की मदद करते हैं. So that's my belief. At Portea, we have around 6,000 numbers, which we, that's the demand basically, which we look for a year. Definitely, there are other home healthcare companies also. So you can take a number that, this is a demand which is there for the home healthcare, especially after the pandemic, where especially the elderlies or the ones who are immune subside, which they don't want to go to the hospital and they want to take all the services at the home only, right? So home health aide, general duty assistant, bedside assistant, geriatric care assistant, these are the 3-4 job roles which have a huge demand, and supply is not at par. Okay, that is there. Second is what Mr. Arvind mentioned. I completely support him that there should be some criteria. People should not come to take the training as if everything is being given free of cost. So chalo training kar lete hain jaake, because last 3 months we are struggling after giving all the benefits to the candidates coming from Bihar, Jharkhand, Rajasthan. They are not even staying for a month. So forget about generating revenue. We goes and loss, because we have to give them hostel, we have to take care of their food, accommodation, everything. So as per what Mr. Arvind was mentioning, there has to be some criteria where they give a commitment that they will be working minimum 6 months. And this is our observation. If someone stays more than 3 months, they stay for a longer time. They continue working in that particular sector only. They don't switch jobs. Okay, today I will work in home health care, tomorrow I will go to retail or this thing. So that should be one. Second is one more job role which can be defined, mother baby care takers. Okay, so there are lot demand coming for mother baby caretakers because of everyone is staying in nuclear family. The new mother needs someone who can support them. So that is non-clinical only. We don't require anything clinical to be involved in that, because they just have to take care of the baby. There is nothing clinical. So that is also something which we can, there's a huge in demand. So the only support which we need from Rajasthan government or the skill development institute is that let's first increase the numbers for training, and more specialized, pertaining to the there are a lot of people from hospital. I'm not saying that you only come to home care, but yes, what happens is home care is having huge demand. Hospital, there are like say 200 bedded hospital, so there will be say 200 GDS if I take 1:1 ka ratio. But home care, what happens, if I am getting 10 patients, I need 10 staff. Tomorrow if another 10 comes, I need another 10. So it is 1:1 ratio which goes. So that's the reason the demand is huge. So if we can, like right now, I have a 6,000 ka demand for this year. Until now, I am been able to hire only 200. So that's a huge gap. I mean, so this forum should be utilized to fill that gap. All other people from home healthcare might support me, because they must also be struggling the same which we are. So that's what I have my views for this.
Thank you so much, Ms. Suman, for stressing on a very need of the hour of providing the home care services, and stressing on the roles like home health aide, general duty assistant, general geriatric care assistant, even the GD advanced in maternal and newborn care. We need to opt for this specialization of maternal and newborn care through GD advanced, so that we could cater that baby caretaker needs as well. So obviously, we understand that state would focus on these trainings more and more. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, next panelist, we would like to invite Mr. Amit Mahajan from Shri Balaji Action Medical Institute.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Amit Mahajan. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Primarily, like since I'm on the later half of the discussion, so most of the things have already been said by a few other panelists. But I would like to add on a few points. Like Mr. Arvind and Suman ma'am just added the main problem that all of us who are on the ground level, promoting Skill India initiative and providing the training to the people, we all are facing one problem, that once the students are trained, they hop. They don't stay with the organizations who have provided them the training. So essentially, what I feel that we, rather than becoming like a center wherein all the on-the-job training and the academic training is being provided to the students, when they have to work on the ground and it's the time of payback, they just vanish from the system. So we have become a training center rather than an institute, so which is actually a big setback, and it's a demotivating factor to all the organizations who are putting in time, effort, and money into doing the upskilling of the people. One profile which I feel is not being discussed as of now is the HR executive. The role which we need to promote is as an HR executive, because there are multiple factors which are not there, like privileging. Privileging is one important area which has not been taught in any of the HR programs in any of the universities, wherein privileging and competency mapping is one important area wherein the HR executive of the hospitals should have a proper training, So this is one gap area which needs to be taken care of by HSSC of because all across the hospitals, this is a area wherein no training is being provided. Every hospital has a different methodology, wherein it has to be a standardized method through which the privileging should be done to the doctors, to the nurses, to the technicians. Same, the competency mapping has to be done in a proper manner. So this particular skill area is something where the things are lacking. So it can be taken up by UP. This is all my contribution on this panel because most of the panelists have already taken up those points which are important and which should be brought to the notice to the government as well as to HSS.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan. And it's always good to stress on the same point. If we would not stress on this very same point again and again, that point is never heard out. So it's always better to be stressed on. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving a wonderful suggestion of this upskilling of HR executives of hospital. That is something very much needed program, and we would surely work offline with you to develop on the same. Thank you so much. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Nikhil Mathur from Narayana Hospitals. Mr. Nikhil.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's a lovely heated afternoon today with a temperature of above 40 degrees as of now. So couldn't say that it's a very lovely one. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Couple of points which I, in a short journey with into the hospital sector, I've identified. I just take a very quick example here. There was two guys who joined the hospital. One of them was nursing and second was into paramedics. And very strangely, one of the nursing guys, when he had been sent across to an ICU, after 2 days, he came back to me and said, "Sir, I can't work into nursing." I says, "What happened?" I says, "Sir, I have never got a practical exposure, and the constant beeping noise which is coming across is driving me crazy." I says, "What happened?" I says, "No, sir, during my BSc nursing, I have never gone to a ICU." Second guy into a paramedic, joined into after a complete course, joined lab. He was sent across to blood bank to do some checks, and after seeing blood, he collapsed. And says we have to take him, and he has to be given blood to get normal. Now, the challenge which I'm facing here is the practical exposure of people. So they are understanding theory, they are understanding what's been taught to them, but going and seeing the practical challenges, they. Hello.
I think so. Some
Yeah.
mic is still on.
Yes. Someone is mic is on.
Ishtiaq, Mr. Ishtiaq, please switch off your mic.
Yeah. So that's a practical thing which I feel there's still a gap. Second is while I was in one of the organizations, what we have done is that we had tie up with one of the skill development organization and said, we will work with you. So our curriculum will be run by you, and we will work with you to ensure the development of the kids are done. Now the selection of the kids was also done with reference to that organization and us. And those kids were given initial offer at the time of joining the course, say that if you successfully complete the course, and after that you're successfully getting interviewed by us, here's an offer which I'm giving it to today that you will be joining us, our organization, after 3 months of your course. Now that way the commitment level of these guys was so much towards developing themselves to join the organization and then join the course. So that helps. Now this kind of things which becomes a specialized course for a specific organization can really help. And especially when I'm talking about courses into blood bank, lab technicians, dialysis, etc. That will definitely help. Third is when the practical approaches is coming across. The I feel while I was talking to a few of the candidates is the course curriculum which has been taught to them is a little old. And I'm not talking for specific to skill development councils, but in general, I'm talking about is the curriculum which has been taught to them from the last couple of years and still continues, because of which the with the new changes which is happening in terms of technology, COVID challenges, change in the patient segment of the hospitals from a cash patient to more for a TPA or an RGHS, CGHS, etc. That challenges they are not able to mitigate, and those are the things which a person need to be taught across, which is more of a practical challenge. So this is my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mathur, for giving the wonderful insights. And I really appreciate that you have touched based on the fact of giving a practical exposure. And that is why in the revised version of our all the curriculums, we have come out with the mandatory on-job trainings, and we really need a support from whole gamut of the hospitals and the healthcare providers, the home care providers, for giving the opportunity to the candidates after theory and practical to come over to your center for the on-job training. This would bring two things: that they would get a practical exposure, real life exposure. Before certification only, they would get these exposures and the real life practical training. And thirdly, the point which Miss Suman and other people were also raising about the retention, that may get reduced if the candidate would be coming as an intern during the OJT and giving some services and observing the things. They would themselves be carried on and inspired to take it up as a long continued job within that sector itself, within that institute itself. So, but also having said this, we also request to all the healthcare providers, while giving the opportunity of OJT in your hospitals or in your workplace, please also send them back for the final examination to the respective training center, so that they can complete their last assessment and certification. Because that's what we are also from the healthcare sector skill council point of view, we are raising a issue that if we sending the candidates for the OGT, they are not coming back for the final assessment and certification. So that is also something they should come back for the same. So this is a very good point that you have raised, and I hope RSLDC team would also take it up as an on foot while giving the exposure to the OJT into their all the candidates in their schemes itself. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Next on the row is Mr. Shikhar Gupta from Association of Healthcare Providers India, AHPI. Mr. Shikhar, would you like to call, or Dr. Sunil Khetrapal is there with you?
I'll start. So thank you, Dr. Megha. And firstly, I would like to thank and congratulate RSLDC and Sector Skill Council for this wonderful platform to discuss the healthcare training, career progression, and placement needs. So further, I'll request Dr. Khetrapal to take the discussion forward from HPA. Sir, please.
Thank you, Shikhar, and thank you, Dr. Megha, and thank you, RSLDC and HSSC for inviting us to this very important Connect workshop. I think it's a very appropriate term. I mean, the theme of this workshop is the Connect workshop. I think it's good to be connected to all the various stakeholders from the industry. Now, I must congratulate RSLDC for creating a skilled workforce in their state. And now the major challenge after creating the workforce is the employability of these workforce, skilled workforce, and generating employment for them. Now, AHPI, I think you all know what AHPI is, Association of Healthcare Providers of India. We are, in fact, not direct recruiters, but we have about 10,000 hospitals as members across the country. And we have about 19 state chapters. So we can, explore this opportunity and in consultation with our member hospitals that how can we create employment opportunity for the skilled workforce. So this is what we can definitely explore, and we would like to explore that. See, the very idea is to help RSLDC and in providing the appropriate and quality healthcare to the community at large, right? So we can definitely explore. And one more thing I would like to add here that we are, also running our some own programs, training programs, and we have something for the GDA also. And Quest is running a program for the finishing school for nurses, and we have already partnered with Quest for the execution and running of this program. So I think it's all about joining hands, working together, and achieving our goals of providing appropriate and quality healthcare to the people of Rajasthan. So I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, we must great challenge. Of course, the biggest challenge is the employability of the skilled workforce. I think we all must work together to meet this challenge. So that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khetrapal. You have hit the nail, and you have actually, I think so, you must have relieved RSLDC team by giving the hands of providing the placement and employment opportunities to the candidates who would be certified and trained under the RSLDC and the HSSC. Thank you so much. And AHPI is always on foot with us, is already a partner with the Healthcare Sector Skill Council. You are on our board and providing so much good services and immense support during the implementation of the COVID frontline worker courses as well. Thank you so much for the same.
We thank you very much for AHPI to participate. We are very fortunate to have you in our panel. And then, like Dr. Megha said, we are relieved for the demand. You are there with us.
The more and more what is needed is now after each batch certification, Mr. Mahmood, please conduct a Rozgar Mela, involve AHPI team to invite their employers so that the candidates could be taken up for the on-job training and further placement in their member hospitals. That is what is needed as a next very step. Thank you so much. Okay. So next is Mr. Madhukar Parekh from Care at Home. Mr. Madhukar Parekh, Care at Home. Okay, we will come back to you again. Mr. Manoj from Quest Healthcare.
No, Mr. Madhukar is back. He is on the screen.
Okay. It's not visible on my screen somehow. Mr. Madhukar, could you hear me out?
Mr. Madhukar, you can hear?
I think
Mr. Madhukar, आप अपना mic unmute कर लीजिए. Please unmute your mic. Please unmute your mic. Your mic is on the mute, it seems. Please unmute your mic.
I think so. He's not able to hear us. We will come back to him again. Mr. Manoj from Quest Healthcare.
Hi, good afternoon to everybody. Am I audible?
Who is this? Mr. Madhukar or Mr. Manoj?
This is Mr. Manoj.
Yeah.
Mr. Manoj, okay. Somehow my screen is not visible. So thank you. He is coming.
Shaik, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And my hearty congratulations and thank you to Dr. Arushi here for this wonderful Connect program. It's actually giving us a lot of relief by bridging along with this healthcare stakeholders. And thanks to Sheikh and his team members to organize this. Thanks to Dr. Megha from HSCC to be a very part of it and collaborating with all the stakeholders. And to all the panelists over here, my hearty thanks to join this Connect. Yeah, see, since Quest Healthcare, as the HPA has slightly mentioned about us a bit, so we have been seen, we are part of a TPA, we are the training partners for various Skill India missions. We have been doing a lot of flagship programs in alignment with various sector skill councils. And Quest has been having its own training and skill development, and we are doing it from last 12 years today. So having said so, understanding the need of the healthcare industry and the gaps to bridge the gaps in the skilling industry, we have started Quest Healthcare Vertical in the last year, say October onwards. And what are we doing here is that we have analyzed the market very clearly. We have discussed with multiple hospital chains to understand where is the skill gap that's happening. And we have connected and created training programs by getting the subject matter experts, even from the sector skill councils, from the industry experts, from the hospitals, to make us understand what exactly is the skill gap, and we have created programs which is delivered now in terms of a new concept called finishing school for nurses. So we saw that there's a huge gap in the hospitals today of the nurses where they're not getting the skilled nurses, and due to which the attrition is very high and the performance of the nursing staff is very low, up to the tune of 20% today. So that's where the hospitals connected with Quest, and we came up with a wonderful finishing school concept. Under this finishing school, we already started our first finishing school in Bangalore. We have completed almost 3 to 4 batches from here, and the placements also. It's a sourcing, training, and deployment module. Thanks to Dr. Arushi for coming back to the RTD model, which would be a real good concept that the concept that the candidate is getting recruited first, then getting the upskilling training from us, and then getting deployed into the same hospital is a very good initiative. So while we went across with this to various hospitals, we understood the gaps, and we have customized a particular curriculum where we are doing a 240-hour program where we have segregated into 2 halves. That is, one is the 120-hour domain skill transformation training and 120 hours of communication skills. So as per me, today's industry, like we can see a lot of nurses going behind on the communication skills. So we have captured that to understand like how they need to be presentable, how they need to be behaviorable, what should be the etiquettes. A lot of topics have been chosen, and we give this in an integrated curriculum. Who would be the target audience? These would be the graduated nurses from GNM and BSc. So we sort of take them across on board, give them a 2 months training, and then depute them to the hospitals in the as a skilled nurse. So that's something that we started already bridging throughout Pan India. Thanks to AHPI, HPI has been collaborated with Quest for multiple training programs as an initiative of the new program that we have connected with. We are connecting with hospitals. They are giving us their infrastructure or the training academy. So Quest will source, train, and deploy the nurses in their academy, and the hospital gets an opportunity to take the trained nurses on their roles. That's a very good initiative that we have started. I request each and every panelist here that being a training partner, I think we should definitely stay connected. Since we have already taken this initiative of bridging that gap, and it's not only for the nurses. I was making a note of all the requirements, be it a medical OPD or a geriatric program how to handle OT technicians, etc. All the panelists who have mentioned their courses that they require, we will customize this and bring it across on very good flagship programs. We will connect with RSDL on this very much with their support. There are a lot of initiatives can be taken ahead. I would request HSCC also to be part of it, and HPI already has given a wonderful initiative that they will look into the skilling, the employability of these trained staff. So that's it for me. So since I'm a training partner, I'm taking all your inputs, and I will come back with a lot of programs, and I will discuss with RSDL and HSCC on this initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj, and thanks for stressing this great need of the hour of finishing schools or finishing skills for the nurses. And we would be happy to talk offline on this and take and discuss it, that how we could take it on in a collaborative manner. Right. Thank you so much. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Vinod Kalani from Rajasthan Pharmaceuticals Manufacturers Association. Mr. Vinod Kalani. Are you there in the call? Mr. Vinod. Okay, I think so. He has joined. Mr. Madhukar Parekh, could you hear us now? Mr. Madhukar Parekh from Care at Home, could you hear us now? Mr. Madhukar? No, I think so. He can't hear us now. Mr. Madhukar, are you able to hear us now? Mr. Madhukar?
मधुकर जी आपका माइक म्यूट पर है, प्लीज अनम्यूट योर माइक, प्लीज अनम्यूट, प्लीज अनम्यूट योर माइक.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Madhukar, please.
Hello. Sorry for interruption.
Not a problem. Please.
Hello. Yes. First of all, I really thankful to RSLDC for giving me the opportunity. Most of the things I think we have discussed, like what is the demand in home healthcare industry and all. There is a huge demand of the GDAs and home healthcare ed and other these skill development candidates. But the thing I want to discuss, I want to मैं अपनी बात को यहाँ पे रखना चाहूँगा कि जो स्पेशली आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग द कोर्सेज जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं वो ज्वाइन करते हैं और उनके बाद में उनका अपस्किलिंग जो है या फिर कैरियर पाथ है वो बहुत ज़्यादा अभी मतलब किसी तरीके से नहीं बनाया हुआ है, जिसके अंदर की एक जीडीए है, वो जीडीए के बाद में उसके बाद में कोई लेवल नहीं है उसका कि वो नेक्स्ट लेवल पर बढ़ पाएगा, किसी नेक्स्ट कोर्सेज को कर पाएगा और उसके बाद में वो किसी तरीके से ज्वाइन कर पाएगा. तो क्या ऐसा कुछ भी किया जा सकता है जिसके थ्रू कि उनको एक कैरियर पाथ यहाँ पर बनाया जा सके, लाइक जो करंट एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी अभी डेवलप किया गया है उसके अकॉर्डिंग व्हेन यू आर कोई भी कोर्स आप कर रहे हैं तो कोर्स के अंदर 1 ईयर के बाद में आपको एक सर्टिफिकेशन दिया जाता है. 1 ईयर के सर्टिफिकेशन के बाद में इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर द जॉब जॉब तो आप जॉब कर सकते हैं। अगेन इफ यू वांट टू कंटिन्यू द कोर्स लाइक उसको कंटिन्यू किया जा सकता है। ऐसे ही करके कुछ ऐसे कोर्सेज को लाइक कुछ एड ऑन कोर्सेज कुछ डेवलप किए जा सकते हैं, लाइक जो नीश से रिलेटेड हो, लाइक अल्जाइमर्स केयर है, पार्किंसंस केयर है, मदर एंड चाइल्ड केयर है। इससे रिलेटेड कुछ कोर्सेज को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा सकता है, जिसके थ्रू की जो पर्सन आज कंटिन्यूसली थोड़े टाइम के लिए जॉब करता है और उसके बाद में वो छोड़ के और अपने कुछ नए करियर के लिए चला जाता है, वो हम रोक पाएंगे। इतना ही मैं कहना चाहूंगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
We may have Vinod who have joined later, it seems.
Mr. Madhukar, thank you so much for giving the beautiful insights on the career pathway for the home health aides. Next, we would like to welcome Mr. Vinod Kalani from Rajasthan Pharmaceuticals Manufacturers Association. Mr. Vinod, could you hear us now? Mr. Vinod?
He is joined just now. He is joined just now. Mr. Vinod? He is joined. Dr. Megha is joined. You can.
Okay, Mr. Vinod. Mr. Vinod Kalani from Rajasthan Pharmaceuticals Manufacturers Association. We would like to welcome on the panel board to talk about the same on the topic of skilling and employment in the healthcare sector. Is it visible? Mr. Vinod, you have to unmute your mic.
विनोद जी आप अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए।
Mr. Vinod, could you hear us?
Fine, we can go ahead with panel discussion, Dr. Megha. And during panel discussion, we will request the other speakers to share their views.
So I think so. We are done with all the panelists, and thank you so much for giving the beautiful insights about the need of the hour of skilling and employment in the healthcare sector. The summary which is clearly emerging here are the key roles which RSLDC could take it up as in great trust is the geriatric care assistant, general duty assistant, home health aide, general duty assistant advanced and critical care, or maternal and newborn care, the two options which are there. The whole gamut of the hospital management side, from the hospital front desk coordinator, patient relation associate, assistant duty manager and patient relation services. From the emergency side, the emergency care assistant and the dresser medical for the hospital emergency and OT side to support them. These are the clear-cut roles which are emerging. The major point which is also emerging to give more focus on the practical exposure through the on-job trainings before the actual placements. So we should encourage from the state more and more to introduce, to mandate this on-job training and track the same, so that the candidates could finish this on-job training to have the practical exposure, to become job ready, also to boost the retention in the healthcare service providers sites, and obviously, and also to track on that after on-job training they complete their assessment and certification. We have here seen major trust and major insights from the good hospital providers and the associations who are ready to take on the candidates certified or trained through the Skill India mission, and the new roles for the upskilling and the finishing schools and finishing skills which are being offered and suggested or recommended by the panelists. We would surely take on with them offline and surely want to take it on to develop new qualifications in that area. That's it from our side. Thank you so much, all the panelists. Thank you so much, and thank you on the behalf of Healthcare Sector Skill Council. Over to you, the RSLDC team, Mr. Mahmood, to take it on further the conclave. Thank you.
Yeah, we can have open forum now. Dr. Mahima, I request you to share your thoughts. Dr. Mahima? Vinod Kalani ji is back. Vinod Kalani ji, please share your thoughts. सर आप अनम्यूट कीजिए माइक. सर अनम्यूट. सर आपकी आवाज हम तक पहुंच नहीं रही है. सर आप अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए. हम सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं सर. सुन नहीं पा रहे. सर या तो आप अपना वीडियो ऑफ करके सिर्फ ऑडियो ऑन कीजिए. बस वीडियो ऑफ करके ऑडियो ऑन कीजिए. Sir, unmute your mic. Sir, we are unable to hear you. Sir, आपकी आवाज हमारे पहुंच नहीं रही. आप कीबोर्ड से अनम्यूट कीजिए सर उसको. सर आपके कीबोर्ड से अनम्यूट कीजिए. माइक को कीबोर्ड से अनम्यूट कीजिए. या तो आपके पास हेडफोन्स हैं तो हेडफोन्स यूज कीजिए. हेडफोन यूज कीजिए वरना. ठीक है. Meanwhile, we request the other panelists to, if you have any thing to share, please go ahead.
Sheikh, I just wanted to have one submissions over here. Uh,
Please.
During my journey of getting the programs activated in the finishing school program, I've observed that the coming to nursing, because I'm focused now onto nursing skilling now. We have seen
Yeah.
that the nursing candidates are not getting the practical exposure as Mr. Nikhil and other panelists also mentioned, because where they're graduating from the colleges, they're reaching the hospitals, but when they're asked to do certain job roles in the department, after
Okay.
2 days, the reason of them heading backward is because they don't have a clinical exposure. So my submission to the other panelists from the hospitals is that please give opportunities to training partners to associate and bridge the gap with the colleges for clinical postings. So
Okay.
where a 6 months posting is aligned with the university academics also. So if that could be helped across with along with training partners, this will actually churn out a very good practical exposure. And with the concept of finishing school integrated academic curriculum, we'll have a very output candidates to the hospitals in whichever field, be it your nursing, be it your physiotherapist. We also started into going into other additional skilling programs. So I think, as the other panelists mentioned, we need to focus over there. A humble submission from our end would be that hospitals should give us an opportunity, and we will definitely, see that breakthrough happening in the next few months coming down. Thank you, Sheikh.
Good insights, Manoj. We will definitely communicate this to the hospitals who have taken part in today's Industry Connect workshop. And I request IMA also, if you can share some thoughts on this, input that is shared by Manoj. We would be happy to hear from you. Dr. Ashok ji. Hello. Can we have other panelists to share their thoughts? Dr. Megha.
Yes, Mr. Mahmood.
Yes, ma'am. Uh,
Yes, Mr. Mahmood.
yeah. Any thoughts?
I think so. We have done with our panel discussion, Mr.
Yeah.
Mahmood, and we had summarized the things. We could
Yes.
hear from other experts who were not get any chance to talk. We could utilize this open forum for them. Thank you so
Can we
much.
have other experts? Yes, ma'am.
See, this is one of the questions raised was about this candidates, like for example, CC advanced candidates to get their skill by the time they complete their program.
Yeah.
So we need to, since we have this practical experience with them, we need to give that curriculum completion done quickly, and they should not be posted in many units. From the time they join, your focus should be on one unit. So all the time till the completion or continuation as they join the institution, they should be in one place, only one unit, and that definitely makes a difference to increase their skill. So the hands-on will be always good if they are going to be practically exposed to one area. So this is what we do. I just thought I will. Otherwise, they are just using them as attenders, going and picking up things and shifting patients. That way, at the end of 6 months, you will find nothing. No skill will be developed, and the end result will be very poor. So that is what I have experienced. So I thought I will.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your insights. Okay, now I request Shri Mukesh Chaudhary ji, our General Manager, to sum up the session.
Good afternoon to all of you. I am Mukesh Kumar Chaudhary, General Manager, RSLDC. First of all, I am thankful to CMD, our CMD Arushi Malik ma'am, for providing guidance in organizing this workshop. I am also thankful to Healthcare Sector Skill Council for taking active participation in this workshop. We have noted all of your valuable suggestions, and we will incorporate all these suggestions so that people can get good placements. Once again, thanks to all.
Thank you all for participating. We will get in touch with you. This is just the beginning. Okay. We will engage with each one of you, and then we'll take this initiative forward. Thanks. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you very much. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you so much, Mahmood, for organizing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kalam Saab.
Thank you, Mahmood Saab. Good workshop has been done.
Thank you.
Good discussion has been done.
Thank you very much for
I'm sure there's a good output will come out from this meeting, and after this, I want to meet you and discuss this. Okay.
With your support, we will definitely make it successful.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.